Am I audible to all of you? Am I audible? Okay.
Sir.
How are you all? And is there any query from the last class, whatever we discussed? Any query from the last class, whatever we discussed? Anything? Some of the new faces I am seeing today. Achha, okay. Any query from the last class? Anything? Everybody understood everything? The last class, whatever we talked about. Article 122, समझ में आ गया है सबको? हाँ? बहुत बढ़िया जी. आज पूछेंगे क्वेश्चन. देखता हूँ. Luckily or unluckily, today you people have to visit again Article 122. Okay. And then we'll get to understand whether you have understood it correctly or not. Okay. Chalo. Let's start today's class. Today's class I talk about, it's a very important for your CLAT PG purpose, because as you know, for the last 2-3 classes while I was discussing Parliament, I told all of you the bills is one of the very important, and the reason is very simple. In the last few years, okay, the Aadhaar judgment, Roger Matthew judgment, okay, money bill, okay, the issue of money bill, how it was passed, why it was passed, we are going to talk about today. And the minority judgment we are going to talk about today. The majority judgment of Aadhaar we are going to talk about today. Okay, we're going to learn all those aspects. Side by side, we are going to first delve into some types of bills that we have in our constitution. उसके बारे में हम लोग थोड़ा discuss करेंगे आज. And then we will delve into totally understanding what Aadhaar is all about, whether Aadhaar was actually money bill or not, and how it was passed as money bill, and what was the reasoning behind it, okay, while passing as money bill. So we're going to talk about all those aspects today, okay. So let's start today's class regarding the bills, okay. And please open it up, open your bare text regarding the bill. I'm going to open the so I have Bharat with me right now, and also I want all of you to open all the provisions, that is the legislative procedure that is there. Okay, 107, 1010, 1112, एक एक करके करो. पहले 107, please open that up. Okay, everybody, when it's done, you open your Bharat, just type it's done. Okay, then we will do focus and learn about it. Okay.
So which article?
107. 107. Okay. If it's done, do let me know. Okay. Okay. Please open it up. Otherwise, I'm also going to open it on the Google browser so that you'll be able to see everything. Okay, and go through the aspects. Now, when we're going to learn the bill, okay, there are certain aspects that you need to understand. Certain aspects need to understand. Anybody can tell me what is the difference between the bill and a law? Is there any difference? If yes, then what is the difference? Bill or law?
So, a bill, when passed by the House of the Parliament, becomes a legislation. And before it is passed, and when it is placed on the table of a house, it is a bill.
Okay. What Nimish has stated, it is correct, or anybody wants to add anything, or she is incorrect, whatever she has stated. Guys, any one of you, whatever she has said is correct, incorrect? Sanmukha is correct, sir, with president assent. Anju, okay, bill is passed by the legislature, when assent is provided by the president, it comes and becomes a law. Okay. Nimisha is correct. Anju is saying with president assent, it's correct. Okay, Nimisha is correct with president assent. Okay. Correct? Okay, बहुत बढ़िया. So everybody, that's a good thing, Manjinder. A law includes bill, but bill is not a law. Right, yeah. So a law, a bill to become a law, there is a certain process to be followed, right, Manjinder? That's a very good sentence that you written. It might be a topic for your subjective part. A law includes bill, and bill includes bill is not a law. Yeah, definitely. It's a topic for your subjective part. Might be asked in any exam. So many of you probably are aware about it. It's a very easy topic to be talked about, but nonetheless, it's a topic nonetheless. Okay. So let's talk about today's ordinary bill, passing of ordinary bill. Yes, statute draft. True. Now, any one of you has constitution honors. Kuldeep is there or not? I don't know today. Okay, Kuldeep hai aaj? No, probably not. Anyone having constitution honors? किसी का legislative drafting आप पढ़े हो आप लोग? Legislative drafting?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा आप पढ़े हो, बहुत बढ़िया. So in the legislative drafting, I hope you are aware कि how while the statute is getting drafted, what are the things are there, कैसे draft किया जाता है, and all those stuff, right?
Yes.
It's a very interesting subject actually. The people now regarding this legislative drafting, why I'm telling this one thing just coming to my mind. Not many people are aware about this thing actually. Policy का भी मतलब in various states, in all the states, okay, in all the states, there is a certain exam, okay, and this exam is not basically known by many people. I don't know, some of you might know, some of you might not know. It's a very competitive exam, and this exam basically many of the law students avoid. This exam is for basically policy making. Okay, policy making exam ये होता है, state government conduct करते हैं policy making के, ठीक है. Many of you probably aware. It's not that you people are hearing it from the very first time, but many of you might not be aware. Which is a very interesting exam, and in that exam, whoever cracked that exam, policy making wala, okay, they have the chance to basically help the legislature to draft the policies. Okay, and in that exam, if in the future, if you people are planning to attempt this exam, because there is a in your mind, क्योंकि मैं बहुत ही कम स्टूडेंट को आज तक मिला हूँ, the people who are really into policy making, जिसको जाना है कि सर मुझे policy making करना है, ठीक है. I haven't heard anyone who said to me like this, sir, I want to become a policy maker, I want to help in policy making. Okay, there are one or two of my friends whom I heard, they from the very first second year they were telling me that they wanted to become policy makers. Okay, they wanted to get into this thing. And after that, I have talked to thousands of students, but hardly I found anybody, hardly very few, मतलब शायद 3-4 लोग मिलेंगे मुझे who directly get into the policy making. Okay, so any one of you is interested in the policies, on the policy making, law कैसे बनाते हैं, law के जो process है. So in that, you people can explore this option because there is a competitive exam to it. You might crack it, you can get into it. Okay, and legislative drafting is one of the subject. If you know this subject, you can crack this exam, and after that, it will have lot of your, I mean, you will have lot of benefit if you crack this exam. बहुत अच्छा है ये नौकरी, मतलब if you want to surface. Now, having said all those things, let's get into this ordinary bills. Now, as you people rightly aware about the ordinary bills, okay. Now, why we are talking about ordinary bills? Achha, are there anything called any other bills? Because there are some ordinary bills, some extraordinary bills, or some other stuff of bills. Are there how many bills that you can find in the Constitution? Anybody aware? Ordinary, extraordinary, anything? Superordinary? क्या bill है? What are the bills that you can find? Achha, money bills, finance bills, any other, Nimisha? Any other bills that you are aware in the Indian Constitution that is there? Any other bills are there? Actually, there are more. Okay. Are there any other bills? Ordinary bill, money bill, and then finance bill. Person is saying appropriation bills, true. Appropriation bills are over there. Constitution amendment bills. Okay. Good one. So there are various kinds of bills. So today we're not going to talk about the constitutional amendment because that is totally relevant to Article 368. Today we're going to talk about in relation to Parliament, how a Parliament, basically what is the procedure regarding the passing of the bill. So first we're going to talk about the ordinary bills. So ordinary bills, so two types of finance bills, probably like you were mentioning. Yeah, there were not only two types of finance bill. Finance bill is an umbrella actually. Okay, finance bill is an umbrella. Financial bill is an umbrella, and under which there are many bills are there. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So let's talk about 107 first. Okay, 107 talks about the ordinary bill. 107 talks about the ordinary bill. So 107, Article 107, if you go find it out in your Bare Act, you'll not get to see there is something written regarding the what is the definition of ordinary bill. Is there any definition written in Article 107? Is there any definition written regarding the Article 107? What is ordinary bill? Guys, is there any definition written? Is there any definition written in Article 107? What is ordinary bill?
No, sir.
Nothing. So how do you decide it's an ordinary bill or an extraordinary bill? Sorry, there is no extraordinary bill, by the way. But how do you decide it's an ordinary bill and the other kind of bill? How do you decide that? Is there any mechanism to decide that you people are
Is it
aware?
like whatever that doesn't fall under the category of money bill or finance bill and all that would automatically be considered as ordinary bill? Is it like that, sir?
Okay, so Anju is saying whatever coming under whatever coming under this thing, okay. Bhavika is saying procedure of passing bill decides the ordinary bill. Interesting. Acha, by having this, is what Bhavika is saying, procedure of passing bill, yes, money bill, there is a difference in that. And ordinary bill, there is a difference in that. What we're going to learn, okay? But there's a very interesting question. Is the procedure actually decides what kind of bill is it? Does the procedure
money
differentiate
bill, I think
the ordinary bill and the money bill?
sir, the bill
I
has
said,
to be accepted by two-thirds
you
of
need to understand my question.
majority.
My question is the procedure differentiating factor between the money bill and ordinary bill? Probably, suppose there are some other incident also. other things are also there. Sir, I think except for money bill, everything has the same procedure. Acha, Anju is saying, yeah, procedure I believe comes after knowing what kind of bill it is. Yeah, that who is saying that? Acha, I say saying procedure I believe comes after knowing what kind of bill it is. Interesting. So depending on the subject, procedure will get decided.
Sir, in money bill, sir, the bill revolves around the consolidated funds of India. Uh, uh,
ठीक है, but okay. Everything is there. Okay, this is a very important. Money will be passed in the special majority. Everything is there. आप special majority ले लो, full majority ले लो, whatever you're going to talk about. How do you decide it's a money bill or not, or it's an ordinary bill or not?
So Article 110 Clause 3 says that if any question arises whether a bill is a money bill or not, the decision of the Speaker of the House of People thereon shall be final.
Nimish,
Is it-
again.
So I am pointing out at Article 110 Clause 3, which says that if there is any question arises, if any question arises whether a bill is a money bill or not, the decision of the Speaker of the House of People thereon shall be final. So does that mean that the Speaker of the Lok Sabha is the deciding person as to whether a bill is a money bill or not?
So 1103, right? Everybody listen to that 1103. एक बार article 1103 खोलो एक बार. Yes, ordinary bill can be introduced in both the houses. Now, this think about it here in this case. Money bill can be introduced in the Lok Sabha. Yes, true. True. What you are saying, fine. But there is a catch in it. Suppose a bill introduced in the Rajya Sabha, and in that case, the speaker will be the deciding factor whether the bill is a money bill or not. If the speaker decides, in that case, this bill is a money bill, then the procedure will be totally different. And if the speaker decides not a money bill, okay, comes under the ordinary bill, then a totally different procedure is altogether going to follow here. Getting it? So speaker is the very important person here to decide what is what. Okay. Now, having said all those things, come to the ordinary bill. Suppose speaker decides this bill. चलो मानते हैं एक बिल गया आप लोगों के पास. What bill can we present to speaker? We can present to the speaker like CLAT PG reservation. Okay. CLAT PG reservation bill comes to the speaker, and in that CLAT PG reservation bill, after seeing all those things, speaker decides and said that it is not a money bill and certifies that. Okay. So in that case, ordinary bill, it is to be treated as ordinary bill. Okay. 1103. Aisha. Sir, but will happen only when question arises? No, he is going to decide, not the question arises. He is the deciding authority in this case. और आज इसके ऊपर 1103 is such a important article, you'll get to know for the very first time. Okay, you will get to know. Sir, how is he deciding on what grounds? He is given the power under Article 1103. Okay, to basically check whether it's money bill or not. What? I said directly because sir, is judicially be allowed on such? रुकिए बात तो ये है मैं तो I just मतलब what I did is I just sparked the debate. I didn't do anything. आप लोग तो क्वेश्चन पे क्वेश्चन पूछे जा रहे हो, which I can understand, which I can understand, which we're going to talk today. Which we're going to talk today. Aisha is saying, is judicial review allowed in such decision? We're going to find out today. Okay. So this is the part that is going to be very, very interesting. Okay. Article 107. Passing of ordinary bills. Okay. So passing of ordinary bills, look at the very incident. What are the... So guys, whatever your question is, just wait for a moment. Let me just complete the ordinary bill definition and the money bill definition. When I am going to enter into the Aadhaar judgment, then I am going to explore all the things. Just hold your question for at least half an hour. Okay, guys? So I will say complete discretion of the speaker. Yes, discretion to what extent? We're going to talk about it. 107. 107, very easy. How to pass an ordinary bill, guys? What is the procedure for passing an ordinary bill? कैसे होते हैं pass ordinary bill? Can be introduced in only Rajya Sabha.
Both the houses.
Both.
Any house, sir. Any house.
Both house, right? बहुत easy है. I'm not going to get into it. Can be introduced in both house. Okay. Then the next part. Yes. After whatever is suppose it's introduced in Lok Sabha, it is going to be passed by the Lok Sabha. Okay. Then after that, it is going to be, after passing by the Lok Sabha, it is going to go to the next Rajya Sabha and it is going to be passed by the Rajya Sabha. Okay. Then what is the next process to it? Assent of the bill. Assent of the bill. After passing of the both houses, what is the assent to the bill? You go to the Article 111. After Article 107, go to Article 111. What is there under Article 111? Who is going to give the assent here? Who is going to give the assent here? Guys? Who is going to?
Sir, is it president?
President. Clear? President is to give the assent. So here, always Article 107 has to be read with Article 111 in relation to passing the ordinary bill. Okay, simple, not a very big thing. Now, yesterday's class we are talking about the lapse. I am not going to talk about the lapse right now. Okay, because if the Lok Sabha dissolves and everything that we were talking about yesterday itself. Okay. Now, coming to the next part, Article 108 we talked about in the last class regarding the joint sitting, so I'm not going to get into. Now, getting to the next part, 109. So, ordinary bill, this is the process to it. It's a very simple process, nothing is there. Now, coming to the Article 109, money bills. Open it up, guys. Open it up. Article 109, open it up. Everybody understanding? I didn't get into the too much difficulty or any depth as of now. I'm just scratching the surface of everything. Everybody understanding? Mahalakshmi, Rishabh, Nimisha, Anju, Bhavika.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just scratching the back of this particular concept. I haven't got into anything. Okay. Shivani Sasang, Sheikh Raizwal. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Did you understand? Are you understanding? Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's great. Okay. So go to 109. What is the money bill? Now 109 first talking about the what is the process of money bill. Now go to 1110 where it basically contains what is a money bill. सर मनी बिल क्या है जिसमें पैसे के बारे में बात है सर बहुत सिंपल isn't it the simplest of definition regarding the money bill, right? So money bill, if you talk Article 110 talk about the money bill. 110 definition of money bill. Open Article 110 once. इसके पहले मैं आप लोगों के सामने एक बार आर्टिकल 110 मैं गूगल में खोलना चाहता हूँ बेसिकली टू शो यू, but open article 110, read article 110 once, and there are so many important things that are related to article 110 you will able to find. Okay, जिसके बारे में normal student or anybody who does not know the case law they will avoid very much. Okay, article 110 of the Indian Constitution. बट मुझे एक चीज अच्छा लगा आप लोगों से, द मोमेंट आई टॉकिंग अबाउट द स्पीकर, you just basically rushed with the question with 2 3 very valid questions. All the questions are very valid. Okay, sir, whether the speaker does have the is the judicial review is there or not. Okay, important. Yeah, people are thinking that's a very मेरा सबसे सक्सेसफुल जो चीज हो रहा है ना, you people are thinking, you people are analyzing the things. Okay, which is the important thing for your CLAT PG purpose, because when you are going to given a comprehension passage, you will think with your question. Okay, अच्छा, आर्टिकल 110 में खोल दिया हूं, मैं आप लोगों के साथ अभी शेयर करूंगा. एक सेकंड. Anybody having any query to let me know regarding this. Okay, अच्छा, article 110 1. For the purpose of this chapter, a bill shall be deemed to be a money bill if it contains only provisions dealing with all or any of the following matters. Now, here are two very important things that you need to understand. Okay. A bill shall be deemed to be a money bill. A bill shall be deemed to be a money bill if it contains only provisions dealing with all or any of the following matters. This is regarding this. What are these matters? This matters in relation to either imposition, abolition, remission, alteration, or regulation of any tax. I'm not getting into the definition as of now. Okay. इससे रिलेटेड जो आधार जजमेंट है उसके ऊपर मैं पहले जाऊंगा. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू गेट इनटू द टू मच डेप्थ ऑफ द डेफिनेशन राइट नाउ. फर्स्ट आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट रिगार्डिंग एंड व्हाट वाज बेसिकली so conflicting about the money bill. Okay, now then the regulation of the borrowing of money or the giving of any guarantee by the government of India or the amendment of the law with respect to any financial obligations undertaken or to be undertaken by the government of India. So first is regarding the tax, second is regarding the borrowing of money, third is regarding custody of consolidated fund of India. Okay, that is the one thing. Okay, then what is the another thing? Appropriation of money out of the consolidated fund of India. Important one. Okay. Declaring of any expenditure to be expenditure charged on consolidated fund of India or increasing of the amount of any such expenditure. D and E point to be noted as of now, which I'm going to explain to you why point to be noted. Okay. Now, next, receipt of money on account of consolidated fund of India or the public account of India or custody or issue of such money or the audit of accounts of the Union of States. Okay, interesting. Any matter incidental to any of the matters specified subclause to A to F. By reading these very clauses of money bill, what is the first impression you are getting? Money bill is basically very, whatever that bill might be called a money bill has to be related to this and this only. Is it true? My statement is true or not? My statement are true or not? Whatever that money bill is going to be there, it has to be related to these provisions and these provisions only. उस bill में इसी के related provision रहेगा और कुछ नहीं रहेगा. Am I stating it correctly or wrongly? My statement.
Yes, sir, correct. But Article 110.
Why is that?
Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Tell me.
No, sir, but Clause G does widen the scope a
Mhm.
bit because it says that any matter incidental to A to F will also come under money bill.
Okay,
So that broadens the scope.
okay. So here one of the very important provision or any important word that whatever I want to see to you. Right. Here, look at this word, guys. This word makes lot of sense and you will get to understand what I'm going to talk right now. Okay. Now, any bill to be called as money bill, this will include this all the things has to be included. Okay. Now, अभी मैं आपको और एक चीज दिखाता हूं. Okay, which is very interesting. Section 7 of the Aadhaar Act. So, you see, now यहाँ पर दिख रहा है आप लोगों को. So, yes. नहीं यार कहाँ मिल रहा है? Section 7. I also this one. Hope so. ये क्या होगा? Blank page?
सर इंडिया कोड वाला खोल के इफ यू स्क्रॉल डाउन ब्लैंक पेज के वहां पे आ
कहाँ
जाएगा.
पर? यहाँ पर मिलेगा? अच्छा,
हाँ सर,
sorry.
नीचे स्क्रॉल करना है.
अच्छा, okay, interesting. ये कैसा है?
अजीब है सर थोड़ा.
हाँ, ये definitely. अच्छा, okay. Here you can see, right? First, I'm going to show you the glimpses. Then I'm going to just touch upon the problem. Here, Section 7 of the Aadhaar Act, which is pretty much important section in relation to Aadhaar. Central government, or as the case may be, the state government may, for the purpose of establishing the identity of an individual as condition for receipt of a subsidy. So it's regarding identity of an individual is one of the condition for receipt of a subsidy. That's why the Aadhaar is going to be given to the people. Benefit of service of which expenditure is incurred from Consolidated Fund of India or the Consolidated Fund of State require such individual undergo authentication. This is Section 7 Aadhaar Act. Now, I haven't told you the finance bill type 1 right now. I haven't told you the finance bill type 2 as of now. Okay. In whole Aadhaar Act, whole section number are 59. Total 59 sections are there in the whole Aadhaar Act. In all the Aadhaar Act, all the provisions, there is no provision related to anything what is there in the money bill, except this provision, where in the whole provision, only one fraction of the sentence talked about the expenditure to be incurred from the Consolidated Fund of India. ये point note करना. I'll give you interpretation and everything related to it. In whole Aadhaar Act, if you open article, whole Aadhaar Act, whole Aadhaar Act has 59 sections. In all the 59 sections, you will not find anything relation to tax, remission, whatever I showed to you in the article 110. Okay, nothing except one section, that is section 7, where in the fraction of the section 7 talks about only the expenditure to be incurred from the Consolidated Fund of India. Now, when Aadhaar was passed as a money bill in the parliament. And one of the main reason it was passed, or if I say speaker under article 1103 certifies the Aadhaar as money bill because of this particular existence of this provision. Are you understanding what I am stating as of now? Everybody understanding? Everybody
Yes, sir.
understanding? Are you understanding the conflict? I'm just sharing the rising up conflict. How the conflict is basically rising up here. Understanding? So in the whole Aadhaar Act, 59 sections, nothing is mentioned regarding abolition, remission of tax, Consolidated Fund of India, or any other thing what is mentioned in the article 110(1) regarding all those things, except this one section. And in that section, there is a fraction which basically talks about expenditure incurred from the Consolidated Fund of India. Because of that, under article 1103, speaker certifies that it is to be treated as money bill. Getting it? Are you getting? Everybody getting?
Sir, despite the presence of Section 7, can speaker still certify Aadhaar Act as money bill?
Despite the presence of section 7,
Can the speaker still certify Aadhaar as money bill?
not really, because this has to be contained in the money bill. Any of the provision or any matter incidental to or any matter specified in subclause A to F has to be there in the bill. Has to be there. It's mandatory in nature. Now, बात यहाँ पर खत्म नहीं होता है. So far, did you understand everything? Everything understood? अभी आता हूं मैं the other nomenclature. Other nomenclature means finance bill type 1, finance bill type 2. Okay. अभी आपको interesting लगेगा. You will get to have the interest from now on. As of now, I haven't made you understood anything. I just raise certain view and I'm just putting my one after another point that I need to put forward, and I'm going to amalgamate it at the end. First, I talked about money bill, definition of money bill. There are certain provisions have to be included in that bill to be termed as money bill. In case of Aadhaar, in the whole 59 sections, only section 7, and in the section 7, one particular fraction talked about the expenditure incurred from the Consolidated Fund of India. That part only talks about the anything somewhat related to money bill. And via that, speaker under article 1103 term Aadhaar Act as a money bill, though there are certain other provision existing in the whole Aadhaar Act. Coming to the next type of bill, finance bill. My Aadhaar is not finished as of now. I am just showing you the more problem with the things. Now I'll show you finance bill. Finance bill is basically, you will not find finance bill particularly here. Okay. In the Rajya Sabha, in Rajya Sabha website, you will find these two kind of category of bill. One is finance bill type 1 and one is finance bill type 2. Okay. Try to understand. If you want to find this, okay, you can find in the Rajya Sabha website. आपको मिल जाएगा ये. Okay. तो थोड़ा finance bill type 1 and finance bill type 2 समझते हैं. ठीक है. So finance bill type 1 and finance bill type 2, what are the differences related to that? Let me share the screen, white screen with you. So there are also other two categories of one is finance bill type 1. And another one is type 2. Okay. Let me get to the type 1 first and then type 2. First, I'm just talking about the type 1. Now, what is type 1? Finance bill type 1 will be called, or any bill will be categorized under finance bill type 1 if in that bill there is a provision of Article 110 other than there are so many provisions. Try to understand. Any bill to be treated as financial bill type 1, for that in that bill there is any provision, from money bill, or to be said Article 110 plus any other provision. If any bill contain these two things, these two parameters have to be there. In relation to money bill, only money bill is going to be there. Okay. Now, finance bill type 1 is basically this part where any provision of the money bill plus any other provision. So if I want to give you an example, I'm not taking Aadhaar right now because Aadhaar is the point of discussion that I'm going to ask question from all of you. Suppose there is a bill called Central Road Fund Bill. Okay. Central Road Fund Bill. In that bill, what is basically mentioned is that this bill is basically to create a fund, non-lapsable fund, to maintain the road and the structure and the infrastructure of the road. For that, to impose cess and tax on the people who are plying on that central road, basically, whatever that road might be. Okay. And this will be charged by the union on the consumption of petrol and the high-speed diesel to develop and maintain national highways. Okay. So Central Road Fund Bill is that kind of bill to create a non-lapsable fund, जो fund lapse नहीं होगा basically, to impose tax by the Union of India on the consumption of petrol and diesel to develop and maintain the national highways. It's a simple thing. Nothing is there in this. Now, all those things, whatever I've shared with you, okay, this bill contains provision not only related to impose cess or tax, which related to money bill. Yes or no, guys? Which related to money bill? Because in money bill, 1A talks about anything relating to imposing tax will be termed as money bill. So this central fund, road fund bill, which is going to impose tax on the people. Okay. But not only that, there are some other provision like how to maintain, okay, what are the procedures to it, okay, all the other part other than this, the imposition of tax and the fund to be withdrawn from the consolidated fund of India. Other than that, how that fund will be managed and what will be the authority, all those other stuff are also included in this thing. So this is a prime example of Central Road Fund Bill, Finance Bill Type 1. Did you understand any provision from the money bill plus any other provision? Guys, understanding?
Yes.
Finance Bill Type 1. Did you understand Finance Bill Type 1? समझ आया आप लोगों को? आयशा, महालक्ष्मी, ऋषभ, निमिषा, सायोग, everybody? Simran, okay. Venkat, Sanmukha, Sheikh Islam, Rajat, are you getting it? बहुत बढ़िया. Manjinder, are you getting it? Okay, बहुत बढ़िया. Now, look at the next. There is another bill called Finance Bill Type 2. Okay. Now another interesting thing is, in the Finance Bill Type 2 will be called that kind of bill which has a provision. यहाँ पर लिखने दो मुझे, you'll be able to understand. अभी मैं nitty-gritties में अंदर जा रहा हूँ. I am getting into the nitty-gritties of it because that's what Aadhaar is there, and for you need to understand this part. ठीक है? Finance Bill Type 2 are those bills. Although there are no provisions regarding the money bill, but there are provisions regarding the expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India. The provision is there. There is no provision. There will be other provision regarding not related to money bill. There will be other provisions. Okay. But there is no provision from Article 110, imposition of tax or anything, nothing is there. Only there is provision like expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India, that is there. And there are some other provisions. What can be example of this thing? Example can be like President Emoluments or Pension Act. Getting it? इसमें प्रेसिडेंट को कितना पेंशन मिलेगा, हाउ मच इज गोइंग टू गेट, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी फ्रॉम द कंसोलिडेटेड फंड ऑफ इंडिया, प्रेसिडेंट इज गोइंग टू गेट, दैट इज देयर. बट अदर देन दैट, how president is going to get, what might be the tenure of it, all those other provisions is there. Nothing related to money bill is there in relation to. Did you understand the Finance Bill Type 2? Now, did you understand the Finance Bill Type 2? Everybody?
So then, can you
Yeah,
give
Madam.
an example? So can you give an example of a money bill? Like, because all of this seems kind of similar to me.
Tell me what you were saying.
So can you give me an example of a money bill? Because I sort of have a confusion among finance bill type 1, 2 and money bill a little bit.
Your voice is not audible. Voice is not audible. Voice is not.
She was asking you to give an example of a money bill because she was confused as to between a money bill, finance bill type 1 and type 2.
Yeah, अभी voice तो same ही लग रहा है. आप टाइप करो ना, चैट करो ना, चैट में लिखो ना. अच्छा, Sir, so the difference between the money bill and the finance bill is that finance bill contains other provision of the money bill exclusively deals with those things. Yes. Yeah. Difference between the money bill and the finance bill type 1 or type 2. What you are talking about as of now? What you are talking about? What you are talking about? Finance bill type 1 or type 2? Simran? Money bill versus finance bill. Anything. Both. Type 1, type 2, both. Money bill talks about those 7 things. Okay. And the other thing talks about the finance bill and this thing that I have already talked about. Okay. Yeah. Now, money bill, specifically your Nimisha is talking about the money bill. Now, here, basically money bill that is there. आपको अगर एग्जाम्पल देखना पड़ेगा, अगर आप बोलोगे सर मनी बिल का एग्जाम्पल, मनी बिल ऐसे एग्जाम्पल के ज्यादा ये है, मनी बिल के अंदर फिनेंस बिल, एप्रोप्रिएशन बिल एंड एवरीथिंग, फिनेंस बिल टाइप 1 टाइप 2 आ रहा है. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? So this be understood. This is how it is to be understood. There is a finance bill type 1, type 2, and this is how, and there is a certain procedure to be understood for this case. Now, if I ask you,
So money bill is the
money bill is the, yeah,
So
you can say
basically money
probably
bill is the
increasing
larger
tax
set.
rate. So here, suppose money bill is, so finance bill definitely comes under the money bill because there is a part to it also, Anju. Okay, or the opposite. No, nothing like that. There is certain part of money bill that is coming under this. Okay. Now, if you go to the totally money bill related to suppose one tax, talking about the total abolition of tax, okay, or increasing of tax. That's the only provision or something is there related to it. Getting it? That is the only thing that is there in that particular provision that is totally related to money bill. Okay. Now
So
my
I have a doubt.
Yeah, 1 second. Now my question is, when you read the Aadhaar section 7, 1 minute ruko, money bill or everything, whatever you read regarding the section 7 of the Aadhaar, now you tell me in which category Aadhaar is falling under.
Finance type 1.
Tell me. Someone saying finance bill type 2. Anybody else, any conflict that's coming to your mind, why it is to be type 2, it might be type 1 also. Because the expenditure is coming from Consolidated Fund of India. Expenditure is coming from Consolidated Fund of India. Are you guys understanding? I am saying now, if you open the Aadhaar Act right now, what we were checking currently, 1 second, here, go to the Aadhaar. Where is the Aadhaar? Yes. Now tell me, in the all 59 sections, only section 7 talks about this thing. Now you tell me whether it's finance bill type 1, type 2, or specifically money bill. If you see it. Aisha, tell me.
So I think it might be type 1 because I don't know if my understanding is right, but while you were explaining type 2, you said that bill which is related to expenditure from consolidated fund alone. But the Aadhaar Act section 7 provides for both expenditure and receipt from the consolidated fund. So maybe it is type 1.
Maybe it's type 1. Okay. Then Sanmukha is type 1. So finance bill type 1. Okay. 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 Now another very important problem. If go to article 117 once, go to article 117 once. Article 117, right? Special provision as to financial bills. Go to article 117 now. ध्यान से सुनना, don't try to fast forward anything. Okay? Article 117 पढ़ो, because I am just setting up you for the understanding. Okay? Article 117 पढ़ो एक बार. Article 117, reading it, what you are understanding? President recommendation is required, such bill shall not be moved in RS. Okay. But the one very important thing that you need to understand, and here is the biggest catch, is there. Money bill, the process of money bill. Yeah, second provision, tell me, a bill or amended. एक second. The catch you have to understand right now. Article, is it recommended to the House by the President? Yeah, President. In the case of finance bill or even in case of money bill, recommendation has to be coming from the President. But in case of pure money bill under Article 110, Lok Sabha has the power to pass it, Rajya Sabha doesn't. In case of financial bills, after the recommendation of the President, it is going to be treated as ordinary bills. The passage I am talking about. Did you understand the difference? Did you understand the difference? In relation to money bill, yes, I am going to take. This is the very important part. Now I am getting into the depth of it. If anybody does not understand, do let me know. I am going to explain these things. Okay, again and again. This is the very crucial part I am entering into. Money bill, financial bill. Okay. Type 1 and type 2. Money bill process, how it is to be passed, that is written in the article 109. Open it up. And it is written under article 118. Okay. Prior President recommendation is needed. Prior President recommendation needed. Second is this part. money bill is to be introduced in the Lok Sabha. It is passed by the Lok Sabha. Go to the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha within 14 days it has to decide. If Rajya Sabha mentions certain changes, fine enough. Does not mention any certain changes or withhold the bill, anything within 14 days, that money bill is going to be passed. Understanding? Understanding, guys? Is this the process under Article 109? Prior president recommendation or that is needed? Nothing is there that suggests Lok Sabha might include the changes, might not include the changes. Totally up to the Lok Sabha in that case. Rajya Sabha doesn't have any power in relation to money bill. Simply doesn't have any power, Simran. Got it? Second, here after the president recommendation, the passage is like ordinary bill.
So, what's the last point that you mentioned?
Which part? Which part?
So, the president, the ordinary bill part.
This finance bill के बारे में जो लिखा मैंने?
Yeah, sir. The last point, the one that you just
Passage
told,
like ordinary bill,
some-
that I'm saying. Passage like ordinary bill, like
yeah.
Lok Sabha passed, then Rajya Sabha has to pass it. Then it becomes the law.
Once president's prior permission is given,
That is there.
it can be
Both the
passed
cases
like
is
ordinary
needed.
bill.
But here Rajya Sabha has to pass it.
In case of finance bill.
In case of money bill, Rajya Sabha doesn't have any hold.
Okay.
Within 14 days, Rajya Sabha, if provides some reconsideration or anything, any changes, if Lok Sabha agrees, fine, does not agree, fine, they're going to go ahead with the law. Getting it? Are you understanding this part? Are you understanding this part? As of now, everybody kindly give me yes if you are understanding. Everybody, money bill, the process is this. Finance bill, the process is this. Everybody give me yes. Now, anybody else not able to understand? Nimisha, tell me.
So, sir, in both the cases, the recommendation of the Rajya Sabha is upon the Lok Sabha to decide whether they want to include or not.
No. Tell me again what you were saying. Recommendation for?
So, in both the cases, is it the case that the recommendation of the Rajya Sabha is upon the Lok Sabha to decide whether it wants to include it or not?
No. Here Rajya Sabha has to pass this. In the case of finance bill.
Okay, sir. So, what happens in the case of money bill?
In money bill, there is nothing like that. In money bill, it's a simple Rajya Sabha doesn't have any power in money bill. Rajya Sabha recommend करेगा, Lok Sabha सुन सकता है, नहीं भी सुन सकता, doesn't care.
Okay, and in the finance bill case, it has to
They have to pass
accommodate.
it. They have to pass it, man. Understanding? Understanding, Nimisha? Yeah, definitely. So now we are understanding why speaker's discretion is so very essential in these things. Now in the very beginning of the class, when you people started screaming with Sir President, Speaker, final judicial reviews, now are you understanding? If speaker says it's a money bill, the passage is totally different. Speaker says it's not a money bill, the passage is totally different. Now the game starts now. Modi government from the 2014 to 2019, they have the absolute majority. They have got the more than majority that is needed in the Lok Sabha to pass any bill. And during that time, they not only passed Aadhaar Act, they passed Finance Act, Tribunal Act under the name of money bill by including the provision of one simple provision of anything related to expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India. So in the 2014 to 2019, what they have done, they have basically, they know if that bill goes to Rajya Sabha, they know that bill will not get passed in the Rajya Sabha and that bill will get stuck. So if they want to clear that bill, they have to pass that bill in the Lok Sabha itself. And how can they do that? They can only do that by making it a money bill. Getting it? Everybody understanding? Tribunal Reformation Act was passed in money bill. In the Tribunal Reformation Act, there is one section called section 184, like finance bill, like finance, the expenditure and the everything that is there. Same thing, Sayo. It was same thing. And that was also pending, Roger Matthew along with this thing. It was pending in the court for the final verdict, whether any kind of thing that has happened in the 2014 to 2019, what government has done, can that be done? Because abhi mein aur ek cheez unfold karne wala hu, which is going to shock you more. This has happened in the 2014 to 2019, and that led to two very major cases. One is Aadhaar and one is basically Roger Matthew. Both are pending currently, and thank God or pray to God it does not come in the year 2024. Otherwise, you might have to read both the cases. Having said that, abhi, another very important thing, how the hell Aadhaar Act was treated as finance bill type 1 or type 2? Nahi, it was treated as money bill. Because that was given green signal by the Supreme Court in the 4:1 majority. Supreme Court को पास गया था, ये issue raise हुआ था. Supreme Court made Aadhaar as a money bill. Yes, Simran. I'm going to, yes. Now the thing is how they do that. AC pass the buck over to speaker? Not really. When you're going to listen to that thing, you will be able to shock again. Achha, what was the importance of the passing the bill? What is the importance of passing that bill? Importance is Aadhaar. Sir, why do they think the Aadhaar Act will not get passed in the Rajya Sabha? Aadhaar Act will not get passed in the Rajya Sabha. Because there are so many blatant flaws is there in the Aadhaar, and that time there was no privacy laws. Everybody knew if Aadhaar without the Digital Privacy Act is going to be published, there is a breach of privacy that is bound to happen. Because there is no privacy law existing in India. It is never going to pass in Rajya Sabha. Understanding, Sanmukha? And this thing. Yes. There was no privacy law. 2016, 2017 में कैसे पास हो सकता है? It's impossible. राज्यसभा में जो लोग बैठे हुए हैं, and राज्यसभा didn't have, Modi didn't have the majority in Rajya Sabha to pass the thing. Even the opponent in the Lok Sabha, though they didn't have the majority to cast the vote and go against it, but they knew this Aadhaar Act is one step to breach your privacy. And if you read the Aadhaar Act, there are so many instances you will basically criticize Modi government or even the whole government that the system of Aadhaar and how your data is taken and keep in the central data reservoir, it can be breached by any time by anybody, any ethical hacker not of that level of hacker, they can hack it. And that's why आधार जजमेंट में एक माइनॉरिटी जजमेंट लिखते हैं D.Y. Chandrachud. And as of now, I have read hundreds of judgments. There are two minority judgments that stood out for me. One is Subba Rao's Kharak Singh minority judgment, and second one D.Y. Chandrachud's Aadhaar judgment में minority. He took the minority view. He rips apart Aadhaar Act. He said it has to be unconstitutional in all the aspect. But 4:1 majority, Ashok Bhushan, okay, they basically made the Aadhaar Act pass. It had to pass. लाखों करोड़ों रुपए लग गया था. If Supreme Court declared it unconstitutional, with this, everything is gone. Everything is gone. It was blatant, and that's why I am telling you there are so many cases where Supreme Court made the mistake, but Supreme Court had to take the call. And if you read the judgment, you will get to see what I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you. Okay. And sir, how does financial bill to include the provision with respect to expenditure from, but simultaneously says, interesting one. Now, Nimisha raised a very valid point, and some of you said Aadhaar might be treated as financial bill type 1, not type 2, right? But the most important part, let's get to the very interesting thing now. Okay. Everybody understanding? Everybody understanding? I told K. Subba Rao Kharak Singh. K. Subba Rao Kharak Singh, which became the right to privacy in after 40-45 years. K. Kharak Singh in 1961, that time that guy has the vision, a right to privacy is a fundamental right. We have to respect that guy. In 1961, with that audacity to tell there is a fundamental right called right to privacy, when 90% of Indian population doesn't have food on the table. K. Subba Rao minority judgment में लिख रहे हैं कि there is a fundamental called right to privacy. You need to respect that particular judge, which becomes your fundamental right after how many years? 40, 50, 56 years in 2017. And when in 2017 case Puddaswamy में जब right to privacy was declared a fundamental rights, it championed the minority judgment of K. Subba Rao. Getting it? Okay. Now coming to this part. Coming to this part. Now you said finance bill type 1, type 2, but there is a certain part whether that is there. You need to understand here one very important thing. Okay. First, shall I show you the how Aadhaar has been declared? So finance bill type 2 does not include money bill provisions. Yes. मैं थोड़ा आपको ये वाला 110 and this thing I'm going to tell you, then I'm going to talk you to the Aadhaar. But so far, whatever I've communicated, everybody is understanding. Everybody is understanding. Are you able to getting the things? Because there are so many factual thing is there. I hope some of you might have some queries. I haven't answered all your queries yet because I am just letting it unfold one by one. Okay. Everybody understanding as of now, whatever I have communicated, guys. Whatever I have communicated, everybody understanding. Okay. Interesting hai? Interesting hai? Now, the one very important thing, some of you might be asking that, sir, this thing, finance bill type 2, Aadhaar might be type 1, or Aadhaar, in the Aadhaar Act, there is a consolidated fund of India or expenditure from the consolidated fund of India that is mentioned. Okay. Now comes another very big understanding that you need to understand. Okay, right now. Article 101, 110, sorry. Read everything on Article 110 and tell me, and you will learn and you will see, is there anything, is there expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India or expenditure on the Consolidated Fund of India? Read Article 1101 and tell me whether it is expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India or expenditure on the Consolidated Fund of India. When you will see, you will tell me. Okay, Nimisha, 110, देखो एक बार. Open Article 110. I'm in front of you, keeping it. देखो, it is on or from. लोग क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है सर?
So 110 clause 1 subclause C reads, the custody of the consolidated fund or the contingency fund of India, the payment of
Custody
monies
of the
into
Consolidated Fund of
or
India,
the
payment monies into the withdrawal monies from any such fund. Yeah, no
from
problem.
any such fund, sir.
Yeah.
It says from.
Yeah. Expenditure to be charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. Yeah. देखो from नहीं है जी, from is not there. In Article 110, from is not there because from cannot be there. It has to be on Consolidated Fund of India. आप बोलोगे सर, what is the difference? Why the on और from में क्या आसमान जमीन का फर्क हो जाता है?
So, but clause C में तो है.
नहीं, clause C में दिया हुआ है. Okay, clause C में दिया हुआ है custody of the Consolidated Fund of India and the payment of monies into the withdrawal of monies from any such fund. Okay, so here what you are understanding in relation to this, the payment of money from the Consolidated Fund of is there same as expenditure? No. The payment and the expenditure of these two things. No. You have to understand here, and that's where the biggest difference. Okay. The expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India and expenditure charged from Consolidated Fund of India, both are two different things. Okay. In the case of this part, expenditure charged on from the Consolidated Fund of India. Okay. It is not put to vote in Parliament. Expenditure charged from Consolidated Fund of India is put to vote in Parliament via appropriation bill. Expenditure charged on Consolidated Fund of India. Okay. In Article 112, when it is there, it is not put to vote in Parliament. कि ये मनी यहां से उठाया जा रहा है. It is never done. Appropriation bill के time, appropriation, any one of you aware about the appropriation bill? Appropriation bill के time, if any money is taken away from the expenditure, there is a proper appropriation bill is going to be made, and this is the money taken from the Consolidated Fund of India. This is the reason, and that will be put to vote in the Parliament. Understanding? In case of money bill, that's not going to happen. In money bill, it is charged on Consolidated Fund of India. Parliament approval is not going to be needed in that case. Expenditure, I'm saying here, Article 114B and this thing, the expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India, 114B related to what? Appropriation bill, na? Dekho, this part, appropriation bill and this part, okay, you might get confused related to on and from. Okay. So when in case of on, in relation to this, the money bill, okay. Now go to article 11, एक second, आपका अभी सब doubt clear हो जाएगा. रुको. 112 is related to, yeah, 112 annual financial statement. देखो, open it. 1123, open it. 1123, Sayog, open it. Everybody open it. Read. The following expenditure shall be expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. This thing and this thing only related to this. That is one very important point. Now I am talking in relation to Aadhaar judgment. Okay. So this is the very incident that is there in relation to Aadhaar. When in the Aadhaar judgment, the argument is put forward regarding the expenditure. Okay. So the Supreme Court, yeah, Aisha, tell me.
So in appropriation bill, it has to be placed in front of the Rajya Sabha also.
Yeah. That is there. But in the Aadhaar judgment, one of the very important incident, they talked about the expenditure charge from Consolidated Fund of India, expenditure charge on the Consolidated Fund of India. So that time, Bhushan basically talked about the expenditure charged. So charge on means it is fixed. These are the things has to be charged, has to be Consolidated Fund of India se katega ye paisa without the appropriation bill itself. Are you understanding? This 1123, this is going to be charged. ये पैसा आपको देना पड़ेगा. Are you getting it? Are you getting it, Sayo?
So, sir, when there's an expenditure related to 1123, so then they don't have to put it to vote.
No
in Lok
appropriation,
Sabha.
nothing is going to happen.
Okay, sir.
Are you understanding? Under 113, 1123, there will be no appropriation bill, nothing is going to happen. वो पार्लियामेंट में वोट नहीं होगा कि इतना पैसा जाएगा प्रेसिडेंट के पेंशन के लिए, प्रेसिडेंट के सैलरी के लिए. Are you understanding, Sayo? It is not going to happen. प्रेसिडेंट के सैलरी जाएगा, कॉन्सोलिडेटेड फंड सब जाएगा. इसके लिए ये नहीं होगा कि इट इज गोइंग टू, ये इतना प्रेसिडेंट के सैलरी है 70,000 रुपए, इसके लिए एक एप्रोप्रिएशन बिल बनेगा 70,000 रुपीज इज गोइंग टू बी डिडक्टेड फ्रॉम द कंसोलिडेटेड फंड ऑफ इंडिया, और वो बिल उसके बाद पार्लियामेंट में गया, इट इज गोइंग टू बी वोटेड, पीपल विल एग्री एंड देन सैलरी जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग द डिफरेंस नाउ? चार्ज ऑन एंड फ्रॉम.
So So both are expenditures, but expenditures
Yes.
charged
Both
on the
are
consolidated funds are
Yes.
laid out. So it
Yes.
doesn't have any procedure. It can directly be given.
It is to be given.
Okay.
112 के अंदर आप प्रेसिडेंट को नहीं बोलोगे कि आपका सैलरी इस बार अप्रोप्रिएट नहीं हुआ है. Are you understanding, guys? I know it might be a bit difficult to understand, but are you able to understand what I'm trying to tell you in this case? Did you understand with the president salary? Charge from meaning, in that case, if something is to be charged, then उसके लिए ये पैसा कटेगा. You are going to create an appropriation bill. You go there and you put to vote in the parliament. This is to be charged, cast vote, and then appropriation bill is good. Getting it? Are you understanding, everybody? Anju, Nimisha, एक जो प्रेसिडेंट का सैलरी बोला, that has to be given without आप appropriation bill लेके आओ नहीं लेके आओ. But in relation to this, yeah, by means it by default. As per the article 1123, it has to be given. As per the article 1123, these are the charge on the expenditure charge on the Consolidated Fund of India, irrespective of anything. Yes. Yes. आप लोग अपनी तरह समझो, that's a very good. Everybody understanding? Yes. Requires vote in the parliament. Nimisha, are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Now you tell me, in that particular instances, okay, in case of the Aadhaar Act, first there is expenditure charge from this thing that is written, and there are so many other provisions are there. There are so many other provisions are there along with that. So it can hardly be called as finance bill type 2 rather than a money bill or finance bill type 1. No, Anju. On article 1123, open it. आपको सैलरी देना है प्रेसिडेंट, उसके लिए आप वोट नहीं करोगे एप्रोप्रिएशन बिल समझते हो? डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड एप्रोप्रिएशन बिल अंजू? डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड एप्रोप्रिएशन बिल? अच्छा, एप्रोप्रिएशन बिल्स मींस whenever you are taking money from the Consolidated Fund of India other than what is there already charged on, अगर कुछ पैसा आपको उठाना है, then the government has to follow a certain procedure. Okay, what they have to do, they have to mention this is the money we are going to extract from the Consolidated Fund of India, and this is the reason and this is the purpose of it, and that bill has to be passed by the parliament. Then that money can only be extracted after the Consolidated Fund of India. Other than that, money cannot be extracted. कोई भी पैसा नहीं उठाया जा सकता है other than the Appropriation Act or otherwise charged. Yeah. Getting it? या अभी इंसिडेंटल में आता हूं. ये वाला पार्ट समझ में आया? ये वाला पार्ट समझ में आया? एक्सपेक्ट दिस पार्ट, डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड एवरीबॉडी? Expenditure charge on are already allowed and expenditure provided under Article 123. However, additional expenditure from you need an appropriation bill. Yes, Sanju ji. Everybody understanding? Rajat, Sheikh, Simran, Shivani, Vaishnavi. हाउ इज आधार ए मनी बिल? अभी तो सवाल यही है, हाउ इज आधार ए मनी बिल? आपके दिमाग में अभी सही सवाल आया है. ऋषभ, आर यू गेटिंग इट? रजत इज सेइंग यस. ऋषभ, आर यू गेटिंग इट?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, बहुत बढ़िया. मनजिंदर, आर यू गेटिंग इट? महालक्ष्मी, आर यू गेटिंग इट? महालक्ष्मी, आर यू गेटिंग इट?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ओके.
हाँ.
अभी नेक्स्ट पार्ट बोलता हूं मैं, ठीक है? Here there is a part to part. Now, for the very first time, it has never happened in the Indian Constitution. What Justice Bhushan has done, they created a doctrine in relation to money bill. They said any kind of expenditure, I'm going to tell you, any kind of expenditure has a substantial nexus with the appropriation from the Consolidated Fund of India, that is going to be treated as money bill. Substantial nexus and direct contact with the appropriation or expenditure, appropriation from the Consolidated Fund of India. So it makes sense. You are saying it makes sense. But the thing is that if that is the case, okay, and if it is violative of now that's the if that is the case, if that makes sense, any bill putting one particular provision of expenditure from Consolidated Fund of India will be passed by Lok Sabha year after year. If that is the case, with this doctrine, substantial nexus from the appropriation from the Consolidated Fund of India with this particular provision, each and every bill will be passed by the Lok Sabha only. And it also nullifies the word only. That's very good point that you pointed out. Under Article 10, it is explicitly mentioned only and only. You can't really say any other provision in that. What is incidental? It is incidental to this thing only. A to F. That's all. Okay. So I'm going to talk about this thing. But in relation to this, incidental, if it is related to expenditure, it cannot include other provisions, Ayog. For Aadhaar, it includes other provision. Other 58 provisions are included, Sayog. Yes or no? Those are not incidental. Those doesn't have any substantial nexus. Are you understanding? आप बोल रहे हो Article 7 has a substantial nexus. Fine enough. Tell me how another section 57, how do they have substantial nexus with this thing? Bhushan didn't save Article 110G. Bhushan saved itself the money bill or Aadhaar itself. Absolutely flawed judgment. Absolutely flawed judgment. Are you people getting it, everybody? Who is not, please repeat the repeat. Doctrine is substantial nexus and direct connection with the appropriation from the expenditure, appropriation from the Consolidated Fund of India. Okay, so any appropriation which can be an expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India and which has a substantial connection with the 110, in that case, that bill can be treated as a money bill. Now, by having said that, it can nullify finance bill type 1, type 2. Substantial nexus doctrine. Substantial nexus doctrine. Yes, they're also considering expenditure from everything. Anything related to Article 110, everything. If any relation is there, connection is there, that bill will be treated as money bill. Kuch bhi expenditure dal do, the bill will be treated as money bill. Are you getting it? Now the problem is that one of the when it is pending right now in the Supreme Court, it is stated, if that is the case, then in coming government, suppose this government doesn't have the absolute majority in Lok Sabha, suppose in 2029 Congress has the absolute majority, they can do whatever they want to do by naming it as money bill. Is it yes or no? So government has got a absolute escape to pass any bill by naming it as money bill. So then we don't need Article 1123, right? If everything comes under the nexus. Yeah, true. So via this definition, everything comes and everything falls apart. So they are saying that is also a money bill, Article 1123. But anything, Anju, related to that also money bill. We don't need now. That is there. But anything related to it also will be a money bill. अगर आपको एक पेंशन का बिल निकालना है और उसमें कुछ लिखा हुआ है पेंशन आपको कंसोलिडेटेड फंड ऑफ इंडिया, इट विल बी टेकन फ्रॉम मनी बिल. Maternity benefit will be taken from Consolidated Fund of India, money bill. Sir, please tell the descent of DY Chandrachud. I'm going to tell the descent. Everything is money bill then basically. If you include the Consolidated Fund of India expenditure, that's the only thing. If you include it by God's grace by that provision, that will be treated as money bill and speaker will give it. Now the next very important thing, speaker's discretion. अभी आता हूं मैं next part में. अब speaker have the discretion. Under Article 1103, a bill to be termed as money bill or not has speaker's discretion only, and that call will be final. And Article 1103 has to be read with Article 122. Article 1103 with Article 122. What is the Article 122? Open it up. Yesterday you read it. घपला समझ में आ रहा है आप लोगों को? Are you understanding everybody? So it is immune from the judicial review. Speaker can take the call. Law crazy hai. If you understand the law is actually crazy subject. 1-2 में जाना. I'll just let me finish the 1-2 and then I'll talk about the DY Chandrachud's this judgment. Then आप 1-2 करते जाना. No problem. Okay. Now very important thing. DY Chandrachud in the minority judgment stated Article 1103, speaker has the discretion. बहुत बढ़िया. Speaker can term any bill as money bill. Speaker termed Aadhaar Act as money bill. Okay. Sir didn't answer. Please ask him. Okay. कौन सा वाला क्या पूछना है आपको? Which one? Sir, which one? Sir, ideally, so Aadhaar should have been no. It is not disclosed in the Aadhaar judgment which one is this. But in many of the bar and bench, live law, and all the Gautam Bhatia, all the things when I was reading, they termed this as finance bill type 2, not type 4. Okay. When I was reading all the blogs of various advocates and the judges, they termed Aadhaar as finance bill type 2 because it's an expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India without mentioning any of the provision basically. It is just an expenditure from Consolidated Fund of India. Kuch hai nahi iske regarding. Because if you see the section 7, it is regarding talking about the identification, and identity is needed from that particular person for to get the benefit, and that benefit will be taken from this thing. Right? Nothing related to anything. ये कुछ appropriation of money or nothing is there. मतलब वहां पर बोला क्या है? What is needed? Identity is needed to get the benefit, and the benefit will be taken from the benefit will be an expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India. So it's a type finance bill type 2, not type 1. Okay. ठीक है, आंसर मिल गया. अभी आता हूं मैं आर्टिकल 1103 में. ठीक है, which you will like it, and I kept it for the last. Yesterday some of you were asking, sir, speaker's conduct under defection law, it was treated as criminal. Sir, you are telling legislature and the legislative procedure, it is not judicially reviewable, right? Now, yes, I am saying something about DY Chandrachud. Okay, how DY Chandrachud rips apart the things. DY Chandrachud basically say Article 122 is there. Article 122 talking about the procedural irregularities, right, guys? We are talking about yesterday. Anybody who did not know Article 122, please open Article 122 once. Please open Article 122 once. Is there any term called procedural irregularity? Is there any term called procedural irregularity? Clause 1 में है ना? So in the case of procedural irregularity, then it is judicially non-reviewable. मतलब speaker's conduct is judicially non-reviewable in case of procedural irregularity. Now, DY Chandrachud basically stated, which is pretty much understanding. There is a legislature business that is happening in the Lok Sabha. Speaker is the presiding officer, and there might be any kind of procedural irregularity can be found, and that is judicially non-reviewable. But here in this case of Article 1103, where Speaker has the sole discretion to choose whether it's a money bill or not, and Speaker choosing mala fide, choosing arbitrarily, will that not be part under the judicial review? DY Chandrachud said, absolutely, it can be part under judicial review. So DY Chandrachud said, there is a difference between the procedural irregularity and there is a difference between procedural illegality. मैं दोबारा बोल रहा हूं. There is a difference between procedural irregularity and there is a procedural illegality. Procedural irregularity happens in the case of legislature or legislative business, anything that needed to be done that hasn't done as per the procedure, and there is some kind of irregularities is found. Procedural illegality will happen when something needed to be done as per the constitution, but it hasn't done. Suppose joint session has to be presided by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Yes or no? As per the constitution that is there. Chairman बैठ रहा है, preside कर रहा है. Can chairman do that? And if chairman do that, can chairman claim that it is procedural irregularity? What I'm saying, joint session has to be convened and has to be convened by president and presided by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, right, Sahib? That is the rule. That is what constitution suggests. But suppose not speaker, but chairman is presiding over the joint session of that particular session. Joint session mein chairman is presiding. Will that be coming under procedural irregularity? No. Because whatever constitution prescribes, speaker has to be the person who is going to preside over it. But if any kind of irregularity to be found, that irregularity must not be illegality. If the chairman presides over it, that's an illegality because that's not in alignment with the what constitution says. Constitution says speaker has to preside, not the chairman. If chairman comes and preside over the joint session, it's a illegality. It is going against the constitution. That particular incident cannot get the protection under Article 122. Understanding? Aisha, are you getting it? Getting it now, Aisha?
I got it, but I don't get why we are talking about speaker and the chairman presiding.
I'm
right
just giving
now.
you an example. I should say,
Oh,
to make it
example.
clear.
So, okay,
Just an
okay.
example.
Okay.
Everybody understanding? So D.Y. Chandrachud said there is a procedural irregularity that can be found in the legislative matter, that is there, fine enough. But if there is procedural illegality that is to be found, then procedural illegality, speaker taking 3 years in matters of defection. Yes or no? You are basically comparing, which I can understand. But here, 122 cannot save the speaker. But here in this case, that's why basically it is pending in the court right now. Okay, what is the judicial review of the speaker's power here? That I told you already, charged on and charged from. In Article 110, he talked about the only provision. He said it is only these things can be included, and it is all the charged on, not charged from. And other provisions are also there. So other provision along with this provision cannot be termed as a money bill. Simple. Substantial nexus batao or koi bhi cheez batao. Or and also Sayog, the D.Y. Chandrachud also said it might be a finance bill type 2. You hardly call it that also. But it cannot be termed as money bill. It cannot be. And if it is finance bill type 2, then it has to pass via ordinary passage of bill. Rajya Sabha has to take into picture. No, not only that, money bill, this thing, there is no other provision. Don't get into this thing only. There is no other provision. In Aadhaar, there are other provisions too. No. Money bill in relation to this, money bill in relation to Aadhaar we are talking about. In the Aadhaar, there is only one provision. The other 58 provisions are there related to other stuff, which is not related to money or anything. Abolition of tax or nothing is there. So Chandrachud said it's probably a section 7 other talks about, yes, 11F. That particular bill has to be only this. Okay. Consolidated receipt from Consolidated Fund of India, charge on Consolidated Fund of India. Money bill always charge on Consolidated Fund of India, not from Consolidated Fund of India. Getting it? It's not finance bill type 1 also. Finance bill type 1, it has to be including one of the things. It's not including. It is expenditure charged from the Consolidated Fund of India. Yes. There are other things, other privacy things are there also. You are in the receipt of that thing. Okay. आप receipt के साथ any incidental matter आप जो you are adding receipt then any incidental matter, right? Then how you are connecting? Tell me. In the finance bill type 1, that is the first part. Okay. The expenditure charged in relation to this. Okay. And then other provision. So you are saying it's finance bill type 1, not finance bill type 2. That's your query. That's your query. So your query is, okay, it's sir, it might be termed as finance bill type 1. But having said that, what this is not decided by the code in relation to other. Okay, whether it's finance bill type 1 or type 2, what they may be stated, okay, without getting into this thing, it cannot be termed as money bill, that's for sure. Whether it is termed as finance bill type 1 or type 2, that is not decided. And the Chandrachud is hardly stated that it might be a type 2, but we are not getting into this thing, understanding, because that's not needed. Here it's a discussion is that whether it's a money bill or not. It's not a money bill. Then different between this thing. Okay, because that's not the part of the judgment itself. Yeah. Wait for another 1 year, 2 years, you will get another judgment. So, because here it's a gray area here in this matter. Aadhaar in that case, whatever the majority is saying, majority is totally gray judgment. Okay. The other people, some are saying finance bill type 1, maximum people are saying finance bill type 2, but they have their own reasoning to it. And I appreciate you have own reasoning. You are saying it's a matter incidental to it and charged from the custody. Okay. So that's all. So via that, it has to be there. But that also, this Bhushan also taken your view, but why taken your view, it termed that as money bill. Majority वाला आप agreement दे रहे हो कि majority also talked about the this part and via that they termed it as money bill with substantial excess.
So if you look at section 7, it says following part, receipt following part. And if you look at article 112F, it says that the receipt of money on account of Consolidated Fund of India. So I was saying that if it is finance bill type 1, then it includes one of the provisions of the money bill and as well as any other provision.
Yeah, true.
So that was my reason.
No, I can absolutely understanding what you are saying. So yeah. So that's a totally different thing that we have to understand, because other than this, there is no hardly any judgment you will find on this thing. अभी तक इसके बारे में gray area है. Charge on, charge from, that I am talking about also, it is there only in this particular cases. You will not find hardly any cases regarding this. इसके बारे में gray area है, and that's why they are asking from it. Okay, and you will find there are too many instances where there is charge on one has been used in one provision, charge from has been used in another provision, and they have been used interchangeably. After the Aadhaar judgment, these all the gray areas have to be addressed by the larger bench. There are gray areas, इसमें कोई doubt नहीं है, and that's why they asked for the larger bench decision and also the speaker one. क्या आप बताइए कि what is this? Getting it? Understanding, guys? Don't really. Sayo, regarding this, I will tell you, okay, it is not a money bill. That's your concern. That's all. It's not a money bill. That's all. Whether it's money bill, finance bill type 1 or type 2, it is not decided by the code in the Aadhaar itself. So, आपको क्या confusion की क्या जरूरत है? By your understanding, you can have your argument regarding, sir, why not it's finance bill type 1, why not it's finance bill type 2. That is there. I can appreciate your argument here in this case. Okay, but I told you regarding what judges are saying. एक सेकंड, कहां पर आ गया? Okay, any other query? Rishabh, Mahalakshmi, did you understand everything? Yeah, true. Everybody? Aisha, Abhishek, Rajat, Sheikh Islam, did you understand? Sheikh Islam, Sanmukh Priya, Sibani. There are so many things in the bills, huh? There are so many things in the bills that is there. Any other query? Any other query? Any other query? In relation to this, any other query? Nothing? Everybody understood everything, right? बहुत बढ़िया जी. Shivani, did you get it? Vaishnavi, Rishabh, Rajat, Manjinder, everybody got it, right? Chalo. Sir, please explain the clause C also. Or 110C. 110 this C. Okay. मैं अभी तक इसके explanation में कुछ गया नहीं हूँ, ठीक है? Because मेरा आज intention था, I wanted to talk about this thing only. Okay. So the C explanation, what Sai was, sir, I just cannot understand how the Supreme Court managed to justify the Aadhaar Act money bill. Like it's crazy. Actually, it's crazy. Yeah, because it's so prima facie blatantly wrong judgment. And इसका review भी हुआ, review मतलब sir, is this the majority opinion? Yes, this is the majority opinion. Now, finance bill does not include anything related to 110, but finance bill 1 can include any matter mentioned in the 110. Yes, true. Yes. Finance bill type 2 does not. Only visa code did, yeah. अच्छा, what are the things left in the bill? अभी bill में क्या क्या बचा हुआ है? I talked about the Aadhaar. Is there any portion in the bill left to be discussed? It's already 11:10. Simran was saying, sir, 110C. I haven't talked about anything. A, B, C, D में कुछ explain नहीं किया. आज सिर्फ आधार में घुसा हुआ, आधार complete किया. What is the part left in bill? एक बार देख लो बैरक से. We might have शायद another class on the bill itself, if it's needed. देख लो एक बार बिल में क्या क्या बचा हुआ है. We talk about everything. Yes. Aadhaar case decided, definitely Anju, but some part is left. Okay, some part in the sense this speaker wala part is left. DY चंद्रचूड़ इज द बेस्ट पर्सन, ऐसे मत बोलो, ऐसा मत बोलो, देयर इज सम DY चंद्रचूड़ के भी बहुत सारे नेगेटिव जजमेंट है. डोंट गेट कैरिड अवे बाय द चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया. Okay. So they leave the bill as it is. Yeah, yeah. What about section 7? Section 7 is the only way to doorway to the money bill. They have done it, Anju. Anything else, guys? Anything else? Anything else? Aisha, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you on Monday. Anything else?
So nothing as of now, but after I go through, if there's any doubt, I'll get
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to you, sir.
आप लोग bill एक बार जाके go through करो. I want all of you to go through once this Aadhaar, whatever you are getting in various articles and everything. I want all of you to go through that. ठीक है? And अगर आप लोगों के कुछ भी doubt हो रहा है ना, come again next day. Understanding?
So what are we
Getting it?
supposed to go through?
हाँ.
What are we supposed to go through, sir?
Monday.
Okay. So
Okay.
do you want us to specifically go through something for Monday?
No, nothing. It's your absolute wish.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, definitely, Aisha ji. चलो तो फिर I don't think so anybody having any query as of now. If something is needed, okay, next day, sir, if it's better if you see the difference between bills, the difference between the bills, private bill, public bills that you were talking. Then what is private bill? What is introduced by the private members? Are you talking about private bill, public bill, Sanmukha, or are you talking about something? Oh. I'll talk about, देखो और bill में भी और भी कुछ चीजें हैं, ठीक है? So I'll talk about other things also. But whatever you understood or not, the Aadhaar wala portion, the speaker wala portion, the discretionary power that is given, everything understood?
Yes, sir.
अब शायद के दिमाग में आ चुका है प्राइवेट बिल, ठीक है? सर प्राइवेट बिल, ये प्राइवेट बिल क्या है सर?
So,
Yeah, Abhishek, tell me.
so can you suggest some?
Can you?
Can you suggest some articles to go through the?
अरे कोई भी आर्टिकल ले लो ना, आधार जजमेंट लिखो, मनी बिल एंड आधार रो, you will find anything.
Oh, okay, sir. Just Google it and we will get that.
You will find anything, you will read anything. Follow
okay,
and
sir.
try to
Thank you.
understand. Okay, I have given you all the understanding. Okay,
Yes.
don't get into the topic of finance bill type 1, type 2, because it's not decided in the court and that's not part of the court itself. Okay, for your understanding, as I have to give you the different bill to understand, that's why I have given you the explanation in this thing. But only thing that you have to understand in relation to this, whether it's a money bill or not. If it's not a money bill, then the process will be totally different. And if the process is different, then the how it is passed is totally different. Then there is procedural illegality altogether, because the speaker intentionally discretionary, intentionally given or term it as money bill to pass it illegally. Are you understanding, Abhishek?
Can you repeat it once more?
Tell me.
Can you please repeat it once more, sir?
What I'm saying, speaker term the, if it is a money, if it is not a money bill, or in that case speaker cannot, but the ordinary passage of bill will follow, and speaker intentionally or in the malafide condition, he termed this thing as a money bill, and
illegal
the
as a money bill.
passage that will follow is totally different to pass.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's
The
not
procedure is
irregularity of the procedure, but it's a procedural illegality that is happening. Understanding, Abhishek?
Yes, sir. Now it's clear.
If there is a procedural illegality, then it is judicially reviewable, and that is to be void.
Yes, sir. Got it.
देखो देखो इन लोगों में अभी ये चल रहा है, अभी प्राइवेट बिल को लेके ये लोग करो। It's good. I am just understanding that this is very important. Carry on. It's good. You people are discussing these things. This is a very good thing. Acha. In the next class, we'll talk about then. मैं सोचा private bill, public bill is not that important. Sanmukh asked it, मेरे मुंह से निकल गया. आप लोग बोले चलो private bill सर. Okay. Lot of time has already gone. I'm not going to continue today. We're going to meet again. आप लोग मारपीट कर लो बाद में, ठीक है, प्राइवेट बिल को लेके, और थोड़ा बहुत आधार और मनी बिल पढ़ के आना नेक्स्ट टाइम. Okay, if you have any query, ask me. Sir, can I schedule a call with you next week after Thursday? Mahalakshmi, did you get it? It was a first class. Well, so many things, huh, Mahalakshmi?
Yeah, I've been attending a few classes before
Yeah.
this.
Yes, Mahalakshmi, there is a scheduled call with you, right?
Yes,
There's
sir,
a
Tuesday.
scheduled call then. Next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to you then. Sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Talk to you then, and I'll explain everything. There's so many things that I have explained today. For anybody who is Manjita, did you understand everything? Manjita got it ना? आज बहुत सारा चीज हम लोग डिस्कस किया. Did you get it ना? चलो बहुत बढ़िया. Great. See you again Monday. Thank you all of you.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir.